Hey, trans youth. Okay, so the topic for this week is actually discrimination and not so much sensitivity. Um, Now, the video that was originally given us is like the Scorpion show or something like that, and the guy on the show was apparently like cracking jokes or whatever. I didn't really want to like watch an entire hour-long video of like tranny bashing or whatever, but from what I've heard, the guy's not very sensitive, obviously. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. So, a couple things were brought up in other trans youth videos in the previous week, and a couple things were brought up on my own channel that I want to talk about. The first one is the whole McDonald's fiasco. Now, the whole McDonald's fiasco was basically a girl walked in and got beaten up, allegedly because she was trans, which is not okay. You can obviously see that. Like, why would you beat anyone up? Like, period. It just doesn't work. Like, beating someone up because they're black or beating someone up because they're gay or trans is pretty much the exact same thing as beating someone of your race or your gender identity or your sexuality up. Beating up a person is beating up a person, and beating up a person is not okay. It's pretty generally accepted in this society, societies before, and most likely societies hence, that it's not okay to beat someone up for any means, for any reason, whether or not it's like some jihad or anything like that. Their religious beliefs or any form of discrimination is generally not okay. So this girl goes into McDonald's, and according to hers, this guy walks up and asks her a question, and she says no. All she wants to do is use the bathroom. And then this 14-year-old woman comes up and, well, she said she was 14-year-old girl, walks up and goes, "Are you talking to my man?" Notices that she's trans and then starts beating her up. And then all of the McDonald's employees, except for the manager, sit there laughing, videotaping, and going, "Oh my God, this is so wonk. This is so crazy. This is amazing," instead of trying to help the girl. It ended up with the manager and a like really old woman trying to help her. And you can get the video. I'll actually post the video up in the description if I remember. I should remember. I'm not sure. I haven't been remembering that lately. Anyway, I'll post the video up. That's really not okay. Then the next one was a transgender refused any form of public transit on a bus because the card said male and she was identifying as female. I've had the same problem, frankly. It's not like to the same extent where I'm not getting public transit and I sued and I'm getting a bunch of money for it now. But I have had people refuse to call me female because it still says male on my documentation. For those of you who are following my channel, you should probably know about this. My art teacher kept calling me male, he, and then man and Mr. Sam. It really wasn't okay, and I didn't like it, so we kind of got into a bit of a tiff. Now, there is a third one that I want to bring up that was actually brought to my attention on a personal channel of this transgendered woman who had gotten into a car wreck, had passed since like she was 14, she's 24. She gets into this car wreck, and the EMT proceeds to do medical assistance on her, otherwise she will die. So he then cuts her pant leg and discovers male genitalia, and then proceeds to make fun of her, laugh at her, say, "This ain't no bitch, this is a nigga," like quotes, "This ain't no bitch." And that's really not okay. Then there was also like EMTs, firefighters, and all this stuff. And as soon as she gets transported to the hospital, she's refused any form of care because she's transgendered. Doctors will not work on her. And they ended up suing for like $2.7 million. And then the court revoked that and then gave them $1.25 million, which is a lot of money, but it's still the principle. Come to find out, after the whole thing, which enraged the family of the transgendered woman, the firefighter, the EMTs, and the doctors had not been reprimanded for their action. They had not been punished. I'm sorry, what? They swore an oath to protect any person, no matter who it is, black, white, gay, lesbian, trans. It doesn't matter. And like, all three of these stories kind of come together in order to show me the brutality of human beings, and the superiority complex of human beings. And I'm not saying that all humans are brutal. In fact, a very small percentage of them would even think of doing this. I can think of several doctors in my part of the country anyway, who would treat a person who is dying from a car accident that they would not die from if they had gotten treatment. They would treat them. It's a law of respect. So what I have to say to this whole discrimination thing, the whole discriminating against trans and not being sensitive towards trans people, is to those who are insulting and discriminating against, think of this. You have 4 limbs, a torso, a body, genitalia of some sort, and a brain. All of that we have. And all of that a dog has. But here's the difference. We were pleading for help in the language. We are pleading for you to stop in your language. We were pleading, helping, begging, and trying to live our lives the same way you do. We are people, and people are people. And if you're going to treat us any differently, you might as well be calling us dogs. Now, I don't want to pull this whole excuse or anything like that, but how would you feel if you were called a dog by someone you saw as your equal, by someone you worked with? Would you think that's okay? I don't think it's okay. And to those who are being discriminated against and everything, this is a common occurrence, and by no means are you invulnerable. Like, you can be affected by all of this. So a couple tips: try and be reasonable, but get yourself out of a situation if it seems hostile. And you don't want to be hanging around those types of people who want to be doing this. And that's my advice. Pick the situations, pick how you handle it, and try, and if you are discriminated against, act accordingly. It's not the exact same thing. It's not stand up for your beliefs at all times. It's act accordingly. Because in no way are you going to be able to say, I'm trans, deal with it, when you're coughing up blood after a car accident and your EMT decides to laugh at you for the next hour. So react accordingly to the situation. While that's going to be hard, that's really all I have to say toward it. You're a person, and the person discriminating against you is a person. Deal with it like a person would deal with another person. It's immature, it's petty, and it's discriminatory, and it's not right, but you have to accept that every occurrence is going to be different, and every occurrence will require a different action. And sometimes those actions will mean taking the discrimination and walking away, and sometimes it means you have to stand up. That's really all I have to say on the subject. It's kind of 9.5 minutes of me ranting, but basically that's my thing. If you have any other questions, take them to transyouthchannel@gmail.com, because we want your questions. We love your questions, and we can't continue the channel without it. I'm sorry for the late submit, but I kind of had a busy day, so that's just an afternote in order to get rid of the guilt of not uploading in time. So yeah, that's my video, and I will see you guys next week. And remember, questions to trans youth. Do it. It's good for you. Bye.